All right, welcome to the Speak Your Piece podcast. My name is Ian McNaughton. Coming onto the podcast tonight is Scotty K, SYP creator Scott. Scott, how are you tonight?
Hey, I'm doing well. It's Friday night. It's a long weekend. Like we're just, we're chilling. We're having a good time, and I'm excited to pod. I got a big Ian's giving me the month off after this pod, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, it'll be good. Let's get one more in, and we'll have a good time with it. So should be good.
So if you don't know, we're recording this on Friday, April 2nd. We don't really have an agenda for this podcast. This is just kind of a screw around pod that we've discussed about doing, just kind of a fuck around. We're drinking beers. I got the Manners game on the side here that I'm watching on the computer, so I might not be paying attention 100%. Yeah, they just got an out. So what do you want to say? Do you want to start with the Crosby-Ovechkin debate that we heard about today?
Yeah, that's a good place to start because, again, viewers, if you don't know, Brandon Dubinsky, former Columbus Blue Jacket, was in his career in past, was tasked with playing against Crosby and shutting him down defensively. And I think you're bringing up his quote. He said,
I'm not bringing up his quote yet. Just give me a second here.
Sure.
I'm trying to figure out what he said. Because did he tweet it today? I think it was.
He might have tweeted it or released as a statement via some sort of social media platform.
Okay. So Brandon Dubinsky on Twitter today on April 2nd said, quote, "Listen, Crosby is better than me. I never said he wasn't. He's obviously one of the best ever. It was Ovi versus Sid. None of you played in the NHL and know how hard it is to score goals in the NHL. 724 is insane. Sid just whined way too much, and Ovi just shut up and played hard." And then he shared an image of their hockey reference page with Ovi scoring 724 goals, Crosby with 476 goals. They obviously active and played in the same time frame, 2005, 2021. It's a really fun debate, the Ovi versus Crosby debate. I'm going to start with you because I want to hear what your immediate thoughts on this, because this is maybe something we would talk about in a regular pod, but this is one we can definitely go off and just have.
I think this is kind of the purpose of this pod, is we can have these debates and kind of go into maybe even give people a perspective on some other thoughts, some things people may not expect. So let me just go out and say, Crosby versus Ovechkin. I don't have an answer for you. This is like comparing Kobe and LeBron. It's that same type of echelon. It's well, yes, one has more championships than the other. One has more goals than the other. Anyways, let me get into it in my thoughts. So Crosby's got 3 cups. He's got the playoff success, the gold medals, in terms of pure accolades, in terms of teams, Crosby's got that hands down. He's got 2 gold medals. He's got, I think, a few world championships as well. World junior gold as well. Both of them have that. But so Crosby's definitely got that team accolade. Individually, though, got to give it to Ovechkin. Again, he's got, 8 Rocket Richards, 8 or 9. And to Dubinsky's point, he's not wrong there. Scoring 724 goals is not an easy task by any means. And I think he's 5th or 6th of all time now. He's top 10, easily top 10 now.
I'm going to pull that up, but just continue on what you were saying. Yeah. I'm just going to pull it up.
Anyways, he's up there. He's 724 goals, and he's still playing. He's not late 30s. He's mid 30s at this point. He has a few years left in him. Ovechkin, and here's the other thing that gets me with Ovechkin. Crosby doesn't have a social media presence. And we talk about marketing the game a lot on this podcast, and Ian, we've gone in at lengths and discussed that. Ovechkin, I'm sure you guys probably might have seen the NHL 21 promo series. I forget what it was called, but it was about Ovechkin rising from a boy in Russia to his career now in a Stanley Cup championship in 2018. That really captured to me. Obviously, I was a big fan of Ovechkin, anyways, but that really kind of gave me some points to back up why he is one of the greatest of all time. And the biggest thing is that he markets the game so well, and he's just a fun, energetic player. I love what he loves the game. Every goal he scores is his last. He's won the Stanley Cup with that goal, and that to me is something that I try to do myself. And I found you have to enjoy the game. players, you don't see them really enjoy the game that much outside of like, they seem very monotone. They seem like they're
very
just
boring.
Yeah, very boring. Very they're just
all about hockey.
All about hockey, pucks in deep, chip and chase, gotta throw pucks in the net. That type of cliche interview. Ovi's not like that. Ovi's and Subban is too. But anyways, this is about Ovechkin. And that's the thing. Ovi's very good at making the game seem fun, and he's been good at that his whole career. And that to me is a big thing for me. And again, it should be for the NHL as well in terms of their marketability. Is that he's a fun player, and if the NHL wants to grow the game outside, you need to put emphasis on him because he is fun and he puts the puck in the net and he does it a lot.
So I have some stats for you if you like. So Ovi has, I think as of right now, as we're recording this on Friday night, 724 career goals, which puts him 7 behind Marcel Dion for 5th all time.
Okay.
And Gretzky has 894. So he's 170 back from Gretzky as we record this. It's a fascinating debate because I think Crosby's the better player. I think Crosby, I don't know that he's more talented. And I can't say that Crosby is the MVP of his team, although you can make a great argument for Crosby being the MVP of his team. But in comparison to Ovechkin, where Ovechkin has been the Capitals for the last 15 years, it's not really a debate. The other thing, I've always been an Ovechkin. I think you and I have both been like Ovechkin fans as kids. Like I think you and I both love Ovechkin growing up. And part of it was because of the fact that Ovi had a reputation, and this is something that's going to be talked about like when you and I are like 20 years older, and both of them are both Crosby and Ovechkin are retired, and we're going to talk about this as we become adults, where Ovechkin had the reputation as someone who could never win, could never get over the hump, could never win a championship. He took too many shots. He was a puck hog, and his style of play would never win. Like those were the conversations that were being had, and the old school hockey community is just like, well, he's got to pass the puck more because he's like taking way too many shots, and it's just like the dude's role is to score. That's his primary target and goal every game is to literally score goals. It's a stupid argument asking him to not take so many shots because you're not going to get as many goals.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he was too flamboyant for a lot of people when he was like a young guy who was doing all the celebrations and having all this fun and doing all this sort of stuff. The old school hockey community had no idea how to react to him. So I don't know. I've always liked Ovechkin. I thought he was one of the most entertaining players, probably of my generation, maybe of all time in terms of just entertainment value. But
pure entertainment, 100%. I would pay hundreds of dollars to go watch Ovechkin play live. He's electric, and that's Crosby. Again, don't get me wrong. Crosby brings that electricity in how he plays, but he does it by example. He does it through his play. Ovechkin's very when he's on the ice, and he just commands that presence, and he's very, but especially when he scores, you just know when he scores.
The other thing I want to mention with Crosby is he obviously has not he has 250 less goals than Ovechkin does, but he's also played 160 less games. And I'm just looking at the Dubinsky image that he showed. Crosby, the unfortunate part with Crosby is that we missed out on about 2 years, two prime years of Crosby because of injury.
Because of his concussions.
Because of concussions and all the other shit that he had going on. So that obviously doesn't help. The other thing I don't know if it gets talked about enough, or maybe we should talk about it more, is the Olympic goal that he scored in 2010.
I think it's talked about plenty, but it's, again, that was his career defining moment. Get rid of all the Stanley Cups. Get rid of, if he wins 6 Stanley Cups, that will still be the defining moment of his career, without a doubt.
See, because it's just so. And I'm not even I'm American. I'm not trying to be like anti-Olympic goal or whatever. Like Crosby scored the game-winning goal. It was a great moment. It was probably the most iconic moment the last decade of hockey.
I'd say since 2000, easily. Yeah.
Probably since the 2002 Olympics. It's probably been the most iconic moment. Yep. And I don't know. I mean, that's probably going to help his legacy. Even if Crosby doesn't score that goal, he's still probably a Hall of Famer and an all-time great player.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's unfortunate because Ovechkin hasn't had that Olympic success. He hasn't had that same. And I mean, very rarely are you going to get that golden goal that Crosby got. But in terms of even getting to a gold medal, Ovechkin hasn't had that international.
I think he has. He probably has. I think he has a silver at 06, maybe. We'll have to check that, but
yeah.
Either way, his point is that his Olympic and even just his international track record isn't the same as Crosby's, which is definitely a big factor when you consider Crosby versus Ovechkin. I think another thing that may seem very obvious, but we haven't even talked about yet, is that the fact is they play different positions.
Yeah, I mean, Crosby being the top center in hockey, like for many years, for many years, and then Ovechkin probably being the top winger in hockey for many years.
Yeah, but again, the point is that they do play different positions, and it's hard to compare positions because you're not going to see, like, Crosby is sure a better all-around player, but he plays a more all-around position, right? It's, again, how many Selke winners have been wingers in the NHL? Like, maybe 2 or 3 ever? Maybe. Again, you know, like, you just don't see it. So you're not going to see, again, Crosby hasn't won any Selkes, but point being that you made a point earlier about him being a better all-around player. That's true. I believe that as well. But can Crosby score and entertain like Ovechkin can? No, not to the same level.
That's the issue with Ovechkin is that the debate going back like let's say like the late 2000s when they were going against each other in the playoffs like for many years, and I guess the early 10s where people are just like there was the argument about you could build a team around Crosby, you can't build a team around Ovechkin.
Sure.
And I mean, I part of that I think it's just Pittsburgh also had Marc-Andre Fleury. They also had Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang. All of those guys are arguably better than anybody Ovi's played with.
The debate can be had. That's
you can make an argument.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so, yeah. Yep. Oh, of those 4 players, yeah.
So that's why I like personally I would probably like in their prime, I would probably want Ovi on my team more than Crosby because you're getting goals.
Yeah.
I feel like Crosby's the better all around better player.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not a lot to say because obviously both look at their resumes. Like you don't like there has like everything that's been said about them has been said about them. I don't need to add anymore.
When it's all said and done, Ovi and Crosby, like if you make a 12 forward, 6 defenseman, 2 goalie roster of the best all-time players, those 2 guys are on it without a doubt, without even hesitation in my mind.
2 of the greatest players of my generation since I've been born, since I've been watching hockey. Those are 2 of the best guys I've watched.
Easily, yeah, for sure. And we'll just quickly mention back to the point about Ovechkin being entertaining is that he's way more physical than Crosby is. You don't see Crosby throwing hits. He's fought 3 times ever.
I feel like Ovi also, that's like, he's done more of that as he's got older. Like, I feel like that wasn't so much. I mean, it was a bit of his game before, but now that he's got older, he's throwing more checks and he's putting his body on the line more too. Which
I think a lot of that has to do with the change of the European game to the North American game, and that is that he is. Let's not forget. Look at his numbers. He's 6'3", 230 plus pounds.
Also, I don't think. I was gonna say I don't think Ovi gives us much of a fuck anymore. I think he just wants to win. I don't think he cares. I think he'll do whatever it takes to win. Like now that he's got that taste of winning a cup and having that victory. Yeah,
for sure. Oh, without a doubt. Crosby's got 3. And anyways, it's a very good debate, and we could talk for hours and hours about it. But they're both 2 of the greatest of all time. Different positions. It's hard to compare them. Crosby better overall. Ovi's more entertaining, scores more goals. Dubinsky's an idiot. There you
go. Is he an idiot though? I don't think he's an idiot.
But like, I don't know. It's very like he started a debate. I just don't like how he said it.
No, that's a fair point. He could have phrased it better. I'll admit that.
Yeah. Sorry, let me take it back. He's not an idiot, but I just don't like how he phrased it. He could have done a better job of that.
It should also be known. I think I've said this on the podcast before. I got an Ovechkin jersey. It was meant to be for Christmas, but I think it came in January, and it was a white Capitals Ovechkin jersey, and he just got named the C. By the time my dad placed the order, and by the time the jersey came, Ovi got named the captain of the team, so it came without a C, which as a kid, I was upset because like it's not the proper authentic jersey now because he doesn't have a C. But actually, some people are like, that's actually kind of cool because you got the jersey before it's not a C.
Before his captain, for sure. That's pretty sick, actually. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I might have said that. What were you gonna say?
We could put the C on for you if you want. I mean, I'm getting your blasted jersey done, so.
Yeah, how's that going, by the way? You're treating that well, I hope.
It's good, yeah. It's getting done right now. When I work in 2 weeks from tomorrow, I will. It should hopefully be done. If not, well, I guess we have to take a road trip out to Kelowna. So.
I don't mind that. Go party with everybody else that's partying in Kelowna. Speaking of done, the Manners are down 3 runs in the bottom of the ninth. 2 outs, 2 strikes to Luis Torrens. Great job for the Manners.
Hey, by the way, Giants Mariners Saturday selections. I haven't posted it yet, but it will be posted.
You're gonna do that later? Okay. I like to talk. I want to talk about baseball more, but it doesn't do well for us numbers wise. Your Blue Jays have been doing okay.
Hey, they have a good team this year. Springer's on the 10-day injured list right now, but once he's back, full engine. We're raring to go, and the boys will be good this year as long as their pitching holds up. I think we'll be looking at a playoff spot.
It's a wagon for the Blue Jays, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think this is the playoff year, and I think the next couple years will be because the thing is they're young. They've got star talent, and they've got guys that are young and stars too. Once they need another pitcher. Once they get another starter, maybe a solid bullpen guy, it's all systems go for the Jays. And they just need to get injury luck, lack of injuries, not get any injuries and good matchups and guys that get hot that shouldn't. And if they have that, they'll rule the AL. I don't doubt that for a second.
And the Manners struck out, so it's great. Manners are looking really good.
They won the first game, which is what counts, right?
Exactly. So pretty much, in case you don't know, for the rest of SYP, so pretty much Scott and I were just trying to get through school here, and then we're gonna have more content coming out in the summer. Still looking at a golf tournament. Things are kind of on caution, yellow light here with COVID here in BC and how everything's looking. I don't know how the golf tournament's going to look yet, but we were discussing. I was having a comment chat back and forth with Keith R Fitness. Is that his actual username?
That's one of his accounts. Yeah, he has a few accounts, but that's one.
How many accounts does he have?
Well, apparently he has 3. 2 of them people know about. The other one, I'm going to let him tell you. It's a secret. I'm not going to.
Spam account?
I don't know if it's a spam account. I don't want to spoil anything. If you want to ask Keith, but I'm not going to say anything. That's my brother, so I'm not going to do anything to help to. Yeah, he can tell you about it if he wants to tell you about it. So.
Interesting.
But yeah,
we were discussing about golf, and he was saying we have to see on the actual course who is better. Because I said to him, I think Keith might be better than me. It might be a wash.
That's up for debate. I'm playing golf with Keith tomorrow, so I will be the judge of that tomorrow.
Be sure to put that on the story for some hashtag content.
Oh, of course. You already know it's getting on there.
So yeah, we're going to get the golfing tournament going. We might do Olympics too. We'll see how the rest of it goes. What else do you want to talk about for the Shithousery podcast? Oh, in case you're wondering, what are you drinking, by the way? Because I'm drinking a nice can of Heineken here.
Heineken? So we're going, again, COVID lockdown here in BC again. We're going local, North Yard Cider. My mom brought it up for me a couple days ago, and It's Taste from Home. It's very good, actually. I'll have to get it again. It's a grapefruit hop cider, North Yard Cider. Go check it out. It's industrial park somewhere.
It's kind of behind not Mountain Fitness, but like whenever if you're driving north, is that on Queensway? If you're driving north on the back road and before Mountain Fitness, it's like right in behind in that set of buildings.
Like kind of by Backcountry Brewing.
Yes, kind of by Backcountry Brewing.
There you go. On your way. So
if that's not great directions, I don't know what is. It's like before Mountain Fitness, essentially.
Hey, that's elite geographic memory there, good sir.
I would buy more North Yard cider, but it's so expensive. So shout out to your mother for buying that. Like it's
I know. She was nice. She was nice to me. I guess I was behaving. I don't know.
Maybe you were. Yeah, I don't mind North Yard cider. It's amazing, like compared by the time I left after graduation to now and seeing how many more restaurants and shops have opened.
Oh, it's crazy, dude. Squamish is going nuts. I've only been back for like a total of like 8 months in the last 3 years since I've been to visit the odd time, but it just hasn't been often, right? And yeah, it's the town. Oh, it's crazy. It's exciting. It's exciting, but again, like doing our own thing, and we're in different life, and yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I don't remember like North Yards being a thing. I feel like Backcountry was a thing when I.
Backcountry was a thing, oh for sure, yeah.
And then what's the jumping place, the trampoline place?
Oh, there's Air House.
That was a thing, and basically all the industrial park I feel like has exploded with like the DQ and the Domino's and all that.
A lot of it has. I actually just thought about this. How many people from our grad class have you talked to? I'm just curious, like what the number is, or like that you hung out, like you've like seen or hung out with, or I don't know. Just
okay, so that's a good question. So I feel like that number is between people that I've actually talked to.
Yeah, sure.
I feel like it's between maybe 20 to 30 to 40
out of 200.
If that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of all the people. Like, obviously, it's been years, but
yeah, for sure, yeah.
And then the people I've actually hung out. I don't know what hanging out is, but I've at least like had coffee with at least half a dozen.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah. I was just curious because it's been now almost 3 years since we graduated. And,
and if you don't know my backstory, so pretty much we graduated in June 2018 was almost peak Big E. That's a hot take, but so pretty much I went to the Mem Cup in 2018 in Regina. I missed school for that. I had to come back because we had to do awards.
Yeah, right.
Where we had scholarship night or one or the other. Also, my award I got was top business student, and I got the big plaque, and I was not expecting the big plaque, which was pretty fucking cool.
That was a big night. Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah, well, obviously you got the biggest award of the night.
Wow. Okay. Anyways, yeah, that was a good night.
And then, pretty much like the week after we graduated, I just left and went to Vic, and then lived there for the summer to go be with the Shamrocks.
Shamrocks, yeah, Victoria, yeah. So it's been busy times for both of us, and viewers, if you don't know, I same graduated with Ian as well, and with a bunch of our loyal followers. So shout out to y'all. We love you so much. But yeah, I've traveled to 6 countries since I graduated. 6.
I've only been to 3 in my life.
Well, you were in Japan last year. That was big.
2 years ago, 2019, year and a half.
Wow. Yeah, that was a big trip for you. That was your first time crossing the pond.
Yeah.
It? There you go.
Going to Japan. And then we're looking at France in a few years for the next Rugby World Cup. Also, the other thing, I don't know if we've said this on the podcast before, but we're, looking to go to Edmonton, probably going to go to Edmonton for juniors, if that's possible for fans and whatnot.
It might be a little roadie, a little 12-hour road through the snow out there. And we got some people to stay with, which is good.
Big plans for SYP. Maybe we'll take a cheap flight on Swoop.
At Christmas time, good luck. I don't think so.
Dude, have you've seen like Swoop's like $60 a person, man. Cheap airlines. I don't know if you get a seat, but you at least get $60 to fly to Edmonton.
Hey, I've never flown Swoop. I've flown like WestJet, Air Canada, but if it works, it works, right?
Hot take, I hate Air Canada. Air Canada's ass.
That's honestly not even hot. That's a fact right there. WestJet is a far superior airline in terms of domestic flights in Canada. International, Air Canada is okay. I will say that.
When I went to Japan, I took Japan Airlines. Cool. Probably the most pleasant flight experience I've ever had in my life. Got 2 free meals, hot meals.
That's cool.
Got the whatever thing you put around your neck, the neck.
Oh, neck, yes, like a travel pill, yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Japan Airlines. I hope they've sponsored this podcast. But Air Canada is actually like shit.
Hey, there you go. Fair enough. We'll have to send out a poll: Air Canada or WestJet.
I would much rather do WestJet.
Well, there you go. But hey, let's let the viewers determine that for us.
Where all have you been in Canada, by the way? That's a really good question. I like to ask people like where have they been, because I mean I've been to a couple of different spots in Canada. Yeah. Probably not as much as you have.
No, I haven't been to many either. Like my family's always like big international travelers, right? Mm. So in terms of in Canada, well, I'll just go quickly in BC. Like obviously Lower Mainland, the Okanagan, Kootenays as well. I went to Terrace for provincials one year. Went to Haida Gwaii a couple times. My dad got work up there, so he brought me up for a couple trips. That was a good time. Rocky Mountains, Alberta. Where else have I been? In Saskatchewan, like middle of nowhere, a little farmstead, just like camped out there for a couple days. Two times, and next summer we'll be doing that too.
Oh yeah. Shout out Sasky, by the way. I've been to Regina, so shout out Sasky.
There you go. But it wasn't like butt fuck cold. It was like -20 when you're there.
Well, that's what I'm afraid when we go to Edmonton. Like I'm gonna hate Edmonton because it's gonna be so fucking cold.
Yeah, you hate the cold.
I hate the cold.
Yeah.
Not this past time when I was in Kelowna, but the last time we did a UBCO takeover, and it was like -10 all week I was there. Straight up not having a good time, bro. I hate the fucking cold.
Bro, come on. That was a good weekend.
That was a fucking cold week. Every time I went outside, I regretted it.
Whatever. That's fine. You're so soft. Oh, fuck. You can handle the cold. You're going to live in Arizona when you're 60 years old. I can guarantee it. You're going to go to U of A football games, play golf after the game.
It gets cold in Tucson too, by the way. Like I think
yeah, it's the desert. I realize that, but it's not as cold as Kelowna is. Or
my dad has seen snow when he lived in Tucson.
Really?
There you go. But no, I can't. I'm not excited for the cold. But I was gonna say I need to travel around BC more. I've been to the Yukon. I've been to Dawson. Dawson's cool.
That's pretty sick, actually.
Highly recommend Dawson.
Did you get the midnight sun, like 24-hour day?
I don't remember staying up that late to see it, but it's definitely like there's brightness at like 10 at night.
Cool. That's very cool, actually.
That it's and one like some of the greatest like driving roads too, and some picturesque views, of course.
It's open road the whole way. It's
pretty much.
Yeah, that's so sick.
Been to Saskatchewan. My one time I've been to Alberta, I think I've said this on the podcast, my one time to Alberta was a layover in Calgary from LA to Van, where I had to go across all 3 terminals to get to the WestJet flight to Vancouver. So that was really fucking cool.
Any of our Calgary viewers will attest to that. That airport is kind of ridiculous when you're transferring domestic to international or vice versa. Like it's stupid. It literally is stupid.
Well, kind of a shitty airport. Also, Canadian border guards are worse than American border guards.
And why do you think that? Why?
Because I think that's part of how they're taught is to be tough on people. Also, the American way is like, oh, this guy's got an American passport. This guy's cool. Plus, I'm also a white male, so that probably helps in getting in and out of the States. But, God, Canadians are so fucking brutal when it comes to border guards.
Is that because you have an American passport?
I have a Canadian passport too.
You do both. I know you do.
I just feel like the Canadian one, every time I come back into Canada, I just feel like I get like a hard time, or like it's more difficult than it needs to be every time I come back into Canada.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm a Canadian citizen. I've never had that issue, but I've heard a lot of. Well, again, when I went through Phoenix Sky Harbor, good airport.
Yes, I can vouch Sky Harbor.
Yeah, both ways. I got screened for something. I'm not sure
for
what
drugs,
it
was. For transferring cocaine across the line.
What's this thing with me and cocaine?
Look at your shirt. You look like fucking Bradley Cooper in The Hangover.
Do I look like, for real? Do I look like Bradley Cooper? That's a huge compliment if I do.
You wish.
Yeah, I do wish, actually. Yeah. So I get a lot of Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, that's a good one, actually. I've never heard that, but now that you mention it, that's a good one.
Yeah, I get Jimmy Fallon a lot. I also get Ted Mosby from How I Met Your Mother.
I like that.
Okay.
Fuck, that's good.
Play title. Scott looks like Jimmy Fallon. No cap.
I might. Fucking got the good one. I mean.
Yeah, who do you look like? Kyle Dubas?
Kyle Dubas is the one that like jumps out to me. So when I was covering Giants games or going to Giants games for a while there, before, COVID, there was one guy who would like always ask me like, how are you doing today, Mr. Dubas? Or how are you going to re-sign these players, Mr. Dubas? And I'm just like, God damn it, do I really look like him that much?
The glasses are like spot on, I must say.
Well, and I need to get a haircut.
Okay, well, yeah, of course.
Glasses and a haircut, and then I look like fucking Kyle Dubas.
Yeah, I don't think Kyle Dubas is the guy to wear a hat, but anyway.
I think he might. Like, if he went to a Blue Jays game, he definitely feels like someone who would wear, like, a Jays cap.
That's different, though. He's part of MLSE. He kind of has to.
Well, Jays isn't part of MLSE.
Jays aren't, but I know. The point is, they're still Toronto sports franchise, so.
Kyle Dubas is one that I get quite a bit. Trying to think of who else who I get comp to a lot. What's his name from Bare Naked Ladies, the band? Fuck, I can't remember what his name is off the top of my head. Like Stephen Page.
I don't know who that is.
I'll send you a photo and put it in chat here. Yeah, Stephen Page. I get that one quite a bit from Bare Naked Ladies, but it's mostly the Kyle Dubas comp.
Yeah, Kyle Dubas is closer. I think that would be a good comparison right there.
That's what I get a lot. Boomer Ian is struggling to figure out. Here we go. Let's see if I can send.
Yeah.
There you go. So pretty much that I get that kind of comp with Stephen Page from Bare Naked Ladies.
There's a bit of resemblance there, but Kyle Dubas is.
It basically is just dudes with glasses. It's literally just any dude with glasses that I'll get comp to.
Yeah, there you go. That's that's valid.
So so pretty much I got to get a haircut, probably not wear a hat, and then I could be the GM of the Maple Leafs.
Okay, I was gonna say before Dubas was there, I'd say anyone could be the GM of the Maple Leafs, but Dubas has done a good job with the Leafs. I like Dubas, and not just because I look like him. Like, I actually think he's been doing like a pretty decent job at handling all of it. He has for sure. And again, you look at the team now; I don't want to say they're Stanley Cup or bust, but they're built to win. I
think it's Stanley Cup or bust this year.
Maybe if as long as they go far in the playoffs, then they'll be good. Like, then the Leafs will be happy. I think
that's probably fair.
You can't build Rome overnight. They've been building for years now, but point is, like, you're not going to get all these guys and like win that year. Like, it might have to be a few. It might have to be like they might have to change a piece out. They might have to trade, I don't know, Nylander for someone, or who knows, whatever. Anyways, they're looking good this year, and they might win the cup. They just might, but we'll see. I'm
kind of rooting for them. I mean, I was not to make this a whole hockey pod, but it feels like all the top the four teams in Canada are pretty well set.
I think so too. Yeah, especially now with Montreal having like 4 games in hand.
And the Canucks are. I mean, they're on break right now. Of course. I mean, yeah.
And Calgary's the only team that can really challenge at this point. That can really challenge Montreal. And
there isn't. I want to say again. I don't want to make this a whole hockey thing. There's an argument to be made that Calgary's got worse with Sutter. I don't think it's been great.
He's not used to the coaching style yet. I think that's part of it.
Probably.
I think he's the kind of coach you need a full season with him and a good full training camp and proper, like, get the right players in that dressing room, in that locker room for him to use. And again, it's very hard with coming in mid-season in a pandemic as well, right? It's
super lit, as the kids used to say, or still do say, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a kid anymore. I don't know what the kids say.
Still do say. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. But.
I feel like you know more than I. You're more. You talk to more of the people, the young people of today than I do. Where I just spent, I think, 2 hours with my grandparents today, discussing. Speaking of which, my grandfather, I was reading a National Geographic magazine that he had from March of 1936.
Oh, that's kind of cool. What was it about?
So pretty much in the National Geographic, they were talking about the gold rush in California. I think it was like 50 years afterwards. But what was fascinating in that National Geographic was the advertising, and a lot of it was promoting like cruise ships or like traveling to Europe.
Interesting. Okay.
And that sort of jazz of, why would you want to go from New York to Edinburgh when you can go from Montreal to Edinburgh via the St. Lawrence Seaway, and it saves like a fucking 300-kilometer trip or whatever. I don't know how the map.
Yeah, that difference is really negligible. It's not a lot. I guess back then that would yeah, that's a good point.
And then it was showing you could get what were the prices? First class, I think it was like $480. First class cabin on a ship from Montreal to Edinburgh.
That's cheap. I could afford that.
I could probably afford that. And then I think like second class was like $285.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. Maybe I'm just the one who's fascinated by this, but just the actual like history and seeing the advertising and where the history was back then.
Hey, okay, top business student. Let's see your marketing skills right now. That's why you're interested in it. Big award a couple years ago, and now
are you saying the hype is getting to me?
I never said that. I'm just saying that you're good at what you do, and you have a good brand. You're almost at 480 followers at this point, which is sick. So,
but by the way, I'm supposed to speak with Armin tomorrow.
Okay.
On Saturday. Speaking of business and question. So pretty much, we're supposed to start the meeting at 1:00 my time tomorrow.
Yes.
How late do you think he's going to be for that meeting?
Well, he's probably going to show up half an hour late. Because for him, it's so Edmonton's Mountain Time Zone. So again, it's an hour ahead there. So that's 2:00 for him. So if it's 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, that's what you've scheduled for your meeting.
Yes, at 1:00 my time, Pacific time.
Okay, he'll show up half an hour late because he's just good at showing up. So he'll show up at 2:30. So and in essence, an hour and a half late. Like if he's a 1:00 meeting, but it's obviously for him it's only half an hour because it's 2 p.m. So yeah, he'll show up at 1:25, 1:30 roughly.
Can't wait to see how that goes tomorrow.
I can't wait to see it either. He's I don't want to. He's got some good stories for me. I can't wait to see him this summer.
Do you have a good Armin story?
Do I have a good Armin story? I might need like a topic to like get this going. We've been on a few bike rides, and there's a few times where he went down the wrong way, and I was yelling at him like for like a few seconds.
Here in Squamish.
Oh, in Squamish, in Squamish, a few bike rides, and he was going the wrong. I'm like, I was yelling at this kid. He just couldn't hear me. I'm like, Armin, what are you doing? Like yelling at him, like top of my lungs, and then he finally gets to the bottom. He's like, oh, oops, and he turns around. I'm like, yeah, good going, buddy, good going. So then we had to climb all the way back up this hill and to go back down the other hill. Like it was, bit of a goofball that guy is, but good Armin stories. My
best Armin story. So this was grade 12, I think this was. Okay. This was it might have been the last day before winter break, grade 12.
Okay.
Absolutely snowy day.
Sure.
Like powder, lots of snow.
Yeah.
I was driving my Jeep Cherokee, that I had, my green rust bucket.
Let's tell a story about my road test after.
And we'll tell that after.
Yeah,
so
after.
pretty much at lunch hour, Armin and I were like the first people to go at lunch hour. Like literally we made plans where I got to take him downtown to the school district office because he had papers that he had to deliver.
Okay.
So pretty much we were the first people because it had been snowing all morning.
Right.
And we were the first people to leave, and we were creating the tracks from the snow to go downtown.
Mm-hmm.
I kid you not, as I'm pulling out of the school, and people who probably most of the people who are listening know how, like, you pull out of the school parking lot, you go down, and then you take a left, and then you take whatever, it's that government, I don't know what road that is. That's you go
Buckley Avenue. Yeah, anyway.
You're going to take a left, and you're going to go to downtown Squamish. So I pulled out. I don't know what happened. I guess I slipped like black ice, did a full 360 like spinorama on the road in the middle of the road. There was no traffic, luckily. It was just myself. This was not intentional. I swear Armin can back me up on this. I just spun my car and then I fortunately landed back in the direction to go downtown.
That's convenient.
With a police, but there's a police car right at like the bus stop that's at Squamish Elementary. And I saw him I saw him as I was leaving. Like, again, not trying to impress anybody. Spinorama, luckily the cop either didn't see us or he didn't stop us, but I drove by and that was like one of the scariest things where I did a spinorama in the snow on the middle of the street last day before Christmas break.
Little Tokyo Drift action there.
Little Tokyo Drift action with Armin. And I had to stop for a second because I was pretty scared. And he was like, Jesus, that was awesome.
I remember you telling me about that. That was, yeah. Fuck,
and there was nobody else. Like, it was literally, I think it was just Armin and I who saw me do the spin.
That's wild.
So talk about you passing your driver's test with my Jeep, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was with your Jeep. So, viewers, I did fail a road test. It's, if you haven't taken your test, it's okay. You're allowed to fail. It helps you get better. Anyways, I crushed it the next time. So this is like January. It's like early January 3rd, I think the day was. I failed my first road test and I got one like a month and a half later. And we get to the ICBC dealership and pull up in my mom's truck, which is suitable for, doing the road test. Mm-hmm. And there's a crack in the windshield and it's like, it's the smallest it could be to be like ineligible to drive. So I have like half an hour to find a new vehicle to drive. And at this point I'm like screwed because I don't know who's around. Ian at the time was working at Club Flex, still works there, by the way. Mm-hmm. Good gym. Go check it out. It's a shameless plug.
Better than Mountain Fitness.
Hot take. That's a debate for later. Anyways,
better than Mountain Fitness.
Moving on. Anyways, so we go over to, and luckily Ian's got his Jeep there. And Ian's Jeep, if anyone's been in it, it's what, late 90s build?
Late 90s. It's probably about the same age as I am, if not older.
So at the time, it was a 20-year-old Jeep.
Yes.
And it barely passed the initial inspection.
Yes. Just for the record, I didn't take my driving test in that Jeep. I bought that Jeep after I got my license. Just little FYI.
So this is the first road test. It's the first time I ever drove it. First road test ever. Mm-hmm. I didn't know where the parking brake was at first, mm-hmm. which it was not easy to find. Anyways, so ended up doing the test, and there was snow on the road, a bit of an adventure, but sure enough, I passed, and I will forever thank Ian for letting me pass. Because if I didn't find a vehicle, I would have had to reschedule, and it would have been at least 3 months until I got my license.
It's insane. If you don't know, it's insane trying to book a driver's test here in Squamish.
In this province, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, in this province. So,
yeah,
one of the greatest stories about that Jeep. The other great story about that Jeep was my brother, who had that Jeep after I moved to Vancouver. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to take it to an oil change to get it done at Canadian Tire here. And Canadian Tire politely said to him, "You are driving a metal death trap. We will not touch this vehicle."
Wow.
And Neil's like, "Well, guess I'm not getting an oil change." And that vehicle essentially was sold for scraps.
Wow. So what was wrong with it? Do you know? Do you remember?
It was fucking old. Like that. It was just an old. It was an old, beat up, like very used Jeep.
But was there anything?
I can't remember how many. I think it was like 300,000 K like on it by the time it was scrapped.
Right. But like, was there anything like particularly wrong with it, or it was just like, just because it was old? That's it.
Probably just because it was old and just out of date. I drove multiple times to Vancouver and back with that Jeep, by the way.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
The Jeep sitting downstairs, that's 378,000 kilometers on it. Still runs like a dream.
And which SYP creator Keith says you need to take the doors off that.
Oh, the door! Don't worry, the doors and the roof are coming off at some point in the summer. Don't worry, Keith knows they're coming off.
So basically, Armin stories that turned into Jeep stories. I'm trying to think if there's any other really. It's amazing.
It's funny that connection because Armin wants to be a Jeep guy.
Well, Armin wants to be a boat guy. That's the problem with Armin. He wants to be a boat guy.
That's also true. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Like, it's actually amazing how much I don't remember from high school.
Yeah.
I really don't remember much. Like, it's been 3 years now.
Do you miss it? That's the real question. Do you miss it?
A little bit, because I did fuck all.
Yeah.
I mean, my routine for most of grade 12, well, actually most of high school really, was just going to work.
For sure.
Playing Xbox, working out.
Yeah. Yeah, you were squatting like 2 plates, or was it more maybe?
3 plates, maybe close to 4 at some point. I need to get back into that.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't have any other good high school. The other good high school story I really could tell was the Halloween party at my place.
That was grade 11, wasn't it? Or was it grade 12? Oh, grade 11.
I think that was grade 12.
I wasn't there. It would have been grade 11. It was 11 if I was there.
I honestly can't remember because
was it the one that you're thinking of?
Well, we were at Skylar's beforehand.
Oh, that was grade 12. That wasn't Halloween. That was like September. Was
it September? I'm pretty sure it's Halloween.
That wasn't even in October. Yeah, I remember that. It was like late September. Anyways.
What's the Halloween party that I don't remember in grade 11?
That was when a certain 6'4" Mr. 90 Degrees.
Oh, that Halloween party.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking you were talking about.
But no, I was thinking about the other Halloween, but that's actually a good one. Where we can we say his name, or do you want to throw his name under the bus?
No, let's leave the name out. Let's leave the name out.
The original Halloween party I was referring to was when we went to first this kid named Skylar, who I don't even remember. I don't even know. I'm not sure if he even lives here. I don't even remember.
He moved to Whistler, and he was like, he plugged on his like social media, like, "Yo, party my place, like bring everyone."
And I don't remember that. I just remember, I think it was you, or who were we? Was it maybe Armin we were hanging out with, who said we had to go to Skylar's?
I think it was me.
Probably you, who said we're going to Skylar's, this kid in the Highlands, and we're going to party at his house.
Yeah, everyone went. It was a huge party. It was like at least.
It was way too big for that kid's house.
Oh, it was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous, and I think it was like weird because it was on like I remember it was like the house was here, and then like the backyard, and then it was like a straight rock cliff, and people were
there was like a whole rock face in his backyard.
And people were climbing up, and I think it had just rained, so people were like slipping down it, and it was probably the closest thing to like a Project X that I had ever like been to. It was huge.
What's Project? I don't know what Project X is.
Quick story: massive party, houses get burned down. It was like
sounds very dangerous.
It was very dangerous. Not your scene. Anyways, it was one of the biggest parties that I've ever been to.
But going back, so pretty much the Halloween party, we went to this kid Skylar's house. Keith took his blender. Someone stole a bike.
Allegedly, come on, allegedly.
Allegedly stole a blender. Someone stole a bike, I'm pretty sure. Someone destroyed a staircase in the house. I turned the thermostat, I think, up to 90 degrees Fahrenheit while everybody
that was you?
Yeah, that was me, who was vaping and smoking in the house. I turned it up to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we left and went back to my place, and then there must have been 20 people who showed up to my place after.
It was more. There was at least 30.
Yeah.
I remember that too. Yeah, and the cops actually rolled by your house too. I remember this, and you were
I
like,
think so. Yes, that sounds right.
they rolled by, but everyone was good about being quiet, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out, Ian, you know, we have good friends. So shout out to the boys, shout out to everyone. Good job keeping quiet. And
I'm trying to think if there's any other. I don't remember. I was never much of a partier in high school, so I don't remember many. I can't tell many good high school party stories.
a lot of them were river parties, and like
and the other thing was that we went to a certain person's house who lived in the Highlands here in Squamish, who would semi regularly throw parties, and they would always be underwhelming in their basement. If you know who I'm talking about.
Tell me after. Anyways.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay, I do know. Yeah.
Yes, where they would go to that person's house, and it would be very underwhelming parties.
Right. Well, again, it's hard to when your parents are home, or it's hard to when, it's hard. Like, again,
Then you shouldn't be hosting a party.
Well, that's just it, right? It's very, unless, like, yeah, it's very hard to do, like, we have this image of, like, these big, massive parties that people go to in the United States, and to, parties and wherever. And that's just not how it is. And
that's not how Canada is, unless you go to, like, some of the schools back east.
Southern Ontario is pretty nuts. I think it's the Westerns, the Queen, maybe not Queens, but Guelph, Ryerson, I've heard, got some pretty good parties. Yeah, but not the same out in BC, and it's just a different scene, right? That's just it. So
and yeah, high school parties. No, I don't remember many here. Trying to think, is there any other good stories or any other throwback stuff that I can talk about my experience on a high school golf team and how underwhelming that was.
Dude, you were sick.
I think the only time I actually played on a team was first year, grade 10.
Yeah, you were top 5 in that year.
I think there was only 5 guys, wasn't there?
You were still top 5. For real. That was the year. Like, our team was not super great that year. But we did get better. We got better every year, which was cool.
So, yeah, I could talk about high school golf team.
You were on it. Yeah.
Any other big Sorry, me?
You were on it. Like, you're on the team every single year.
I technically was, but I only played in like grade 10.
Right.
Any other stories that you want to tell, or any other big things that you feel like
you were gonna say something?
I was gonna say I don't remember how good, like, I never played on the other, like, grade 11 or 12. I just was there because I got extra, like, I got to go down to the course and get extra balls every once in a while, and got a jersey.
We went to provincials in grade 12, and then the year.
And I couldn't go to that because I was covering something. Or I was doing something else, like, if I remember, because that was in Nanaimo, wasn't it?
It was Nanaimo, yeah. Only the players that were playing were allowed to go.
Yeah.
I was a good team, and I think we'll see some of those guys at the SYP golf tournament, hopefully, coming up. Some good, really, really good players. It was fun. None of us really played that well, which was shitty, but it was still a fun course. I'd go back and play that course again. Actually, it was kind of cool. So, yeah. Anyways, that was fun. You were gonna say something.
I was gonna say, do you have any other cool stories or high school or anything worth really chatting about on a fuck around podcast? Because
screw around pod, yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything really eventful that I remember from high school that was really cool or noteworthy. Even university has been kind of a lull. Yeah. Don't remember.
You haven't really had a campus life, though. That's the thing. You've never lived on campus.
My peak campus life was being invited to a party that I didn't get to go to because I wasn't there. That was peak. That was peak Biggie at SFU.
At SFU, yeah.
There's girls inviting me to a party that I didn't get to go to because I wasn't there.
Why didn't you go?
I was in Victoria.
Oh, okay. You had other priorities, I guess, then.
I was covering the Man Cup, bro. I was covering Lax.
Hey, there you go. Was that it was last year? 2 years.
That was 2019.
Okay, 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. Damn.
Lax season coming back again, June. I'm gonna pull up the dates of what actually Lax season starts. June 21st, I think.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah, bro.
Assuming we'll get hopefully some vaccinations in people's arms at that point, that would be ideal. Get some fans in the stands.
Yeah, I don't even have a vaccine. Maybe I'll just go down to the States and I'll just go get a vaccine because why not?
Are you like? Would you be able to? Is that actually an option?
I watched a video one time. Maybe like 2 months ago. I watched a video of a doctor who said like if you're a Canadian in the States or if you're in the States, get the vaccine. Might as well while you're down there, but don't specifically travel to the States for the vaccine.
Yeah, travel there, but get it on your way. Yeah, okay.
But if you're down there, you might as well get it. So it's like, okay, well, fucking, I might as well just go down.
Well, I mean, I don't know. The BC vaccine rollout's pretty good from what I've heard so far.
Yeah, do you know that everybody on my grandparents, my mother, all been vaccinated, even
shout out healthcare workers.
Yeah, it's I don't know when they're gonna get their second dose, but yes.
Still, the fact is they've got one in their arm, which is important. Now you get one and then get the others later.
My brother said he's holding out for the AstraZeneca.
I wouldn't do that if I was. We're gonna have a good chat when I'm back. I'll order some Top Hat and I'll talk some sense into you.
Well, actually, the best part right now as we're doing this, my brother, I think he's got an ulcer or he's got a canker sore or something in his mouth, which makes it a bit tough to talk, a bit tough to speak. Yeah. So I've just been trying to make him laugh all night, like just trying to piss him off.
I mean, you're good at that. I have some good stories about you and your brother.
Oh, what are the good stories you have about Neil and I?
There's a few. So we might have been like.
I swear to God, if you bring up grade 4 baseball, I will slash your tires when you come back.
Oh, that's a good story. I've told that on the pod before. You didn't get mad.
Did you tell that on the podcast? I feel like we had that I feel like we would live that when we were golfing one time.
Maybe. Yeah.
And I just let it all out to your dad on the golf course.
Yeah, you actually went off.
I actually went off. Like I've been trying to. Yeah, but anyways, go on. What do you have to?
So that's not my story, but that is funny. I do remember that. That was good. That's a story for another pod. So the story I have in mind, I think we were playing hockey. You were the tendy, and Neil and I were shooting on you. This would have been like you were 10 years old. I don't even know if you remember this, but there was a point in time. I think Neil had like 6 or 7 straight goals on you, and you were getting increasingly mad, and I could just picture the smoke coming out of your ears. You were so fired up. And I think Neil said something to piss you off, as he usually does. And I just have this image. You like, so he goes in there and gets the ball out of the net, and you like swing your goalie stick. You don't hit him in the head, but you like throw it at the garage door. Yeah, is that your grandparents?
That feels yeah, probably my grandparents. That feels like something I don't remember that, but that feels like something I would have done as a kid.
Yeah, I have that image like in my head so clear that you were doing that. I'm like, did he really just do that? You know the story I have of playing ball hockey with you was I think you invited me to your birthday when I first moved here, which is kind of a big move on you, inviting the new kid to your birthday party. Big step in the right direction. Look where we are now. Anyways,
I was and I was a goalie. And I scored on. I was the goalie who scored at one end, and I think that was the game-winning goal. Might have been too.
Okay.
And I think I scored as the goalie, and I thought I was like king shit because I just fucking scored. Finally asserting myself as who I am, this incredible goalie. And then your dad brought up facts about all-time NHL goalies who scored.
He did. Yeah. Right. Okay. I don't remember that, but
he pulled it up and he told us.
Yeah, probably Billy Smith in there.
Ron Hextall.
Yeah.
I think Brodeur too.
Yeah, Brodeur he's a couple, I think.
Yeah.
But yes, Rene was the most recent one, but that was before that, obviously. Yes. So, but yeah, I didn't know that's a cool story actually.
I remember that. The other story I remember, I think it was at that same house I came to visit, and we played NHL Olympics on Wii. Or not NHL Olympics. We played Winter Olympics on Wii, and we played the hockey.
Dude, goated. That's a goated game. Anyone that has a Wii, go get that game. Absolute goat game. Anyways.
Do you remember I remember at least one game we played. Do you remember what the result of it was?
Well, I have the other game in mind about the whole Jonathan Taves.
I wasn't gonna bring that one up, but I was gonna bring up the time we played Winter Olympics on.
I don't remember this one.
So I think you were winning 3-2.
Oh, it's a close game.
And then I scored with like 2 seconds left.
Okay.
And you were absolutely pissed that I scored with 2 seconds left, and it was a tie. It was a tie 3-3. So at least I salvaged something.
Who won the game?
It was a tie.
Oh, right.
It just ended in a tie, and you I think you were winning for most of the game. Like I don't think I ever had a lead in the game. And
dude, I drove the play, and yeah. Anyways, interesting. I don't remember that one either, but that was I would get mad about that. I would not be happy with
the Jonathan Taves one is also a great story if you want to bring that one up.
Yeah, okay, fine. Why not? Just bring it up.
John, I beat you 9-2.
8-4. Get your.
Yeah, I can never what the. All I remember was Jonathan Taves scoring more goals, scoring a touchdown. He scored 7 goals, and he scored more than your entire team. I can't remember what team you were. I just was the Blackhawks, and I got 7 goals out of Jonathan Taves.
So, viewers, this was 2 years ago, maybe?
2 summers ago, I think it was.
Summer of 2019. 2 summers ago. So, I was in my dad's basement. We're playing NHL 14, great game. So, that is now sold. So it'll be 19 next time you come over. Yes, I sold my Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you knew that. Yeah. Anyways, so we're playing, and at this point I was beating everyone. I beat Keith. Now beat me now. I beat Eric Murphy. I think it was Eric Murphy that was there.
You beat me, I think, a couple times before that.
Previous that, and then I get to my dad's giving me a shit. He's like, okay, beat Ian with a shit team, and Ian can be the Blackhawks who won the cup that year.
Yeah.
So he's giving me shit. I'm like, okay, I'm confident. I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gonna beat this team. Nashville was actually a pretty good team. Sure enough, I think Taves put up 4 goals himself in the first period. It was 4.
Yeah.
It was 4-0, and I'm like, fuck. So I'm at this point because I think I was the road team, so I was going up on the second period. So
I feel like that's right.
So I'm thinking like, okay, let me get 3 goals here. Let me get back in this game.
Yes.
Then you go on to score 2 more, and at this point I'm like fuming, and I just don't care at this point. And then I eventually get a few, but the game's over.
The game's out of hand by the end of the second.
Absolutely out of hand. I start picking fights with Daniel Carcillo and like Brian.
And you never fight in any you never fight at all.
Yeah. People don't know. I never fight in NHL unless you hit. There's a few exceptions. You hit my star player, I'm losing by a lot, or actually that's it. You hit my best player, or
very rarely are you fighting.
Yes, very rarely. So I was picking fights. I was mad. I was not happy about this result. But yeah, Ian, that was probably one of the only times you've beat me like clean.
Yeah, without like some sort of glitch or like actual cheese. Like that was just like straight up, I beat you.
Yeah.
And then the best part, the second best part about that was, I think it was when I was in Victoria that September.
Okay.
And I was at UVic, and I was hanging out with Eric Murphy. Yeah. And Eric's like, you should remind Scott about the Chell game. And I'm like, Eric, that's actually a really fucking good idea. And I called you and like in front of everybody at the fucking table. Brutal. There were 6 of us and I put you on speaker. I'm like, bro, I beat you in Chell with Jonathan Taves, right? And
I remember that. I do remember that was like September 2019. I don't know if I was in class or where I was, but I was so mad when you said that.
I'm definitely gonna do that when we're back in session too. Definitely gonna do that.
You're gonna know my class schedule. Call me in class.
Yeah.
I'll just keep fuming. Yeah, that was not a good moment. I was not happy about that, but definitely my worst loss in NHL probably ever.
By a mile.
Yeah, by a mile. It was not good. It was really not good. But props to Ian. He played a good game. Well, okay. He, as Jonathan Taves, played a good game. The rest of the Blackhawks lost to the Predators. It was 4-1 Nashville to Chicago. It was 7-4 Jonathan Taves to Nashville. So, or 8-4. Yeah. So good for Ian. Shout out to Ian for being good at Chell, and we'll see what happens next time we play. Different new systems, different teams. We'll see what happens.
the other thing I should promote, I just bought FIFA 21, discounted FIFA 21.
Oh,
So
we were gonna ask you about that actually.
So- so
I noticed you're playing. So
well, Neil's been playing because my brother I think has played more on the PS than I have. And we will be doing SYP gaming at some point here. Shoot, anything else before we sign off here? Because we've gone over an hour here and we've had some good stuff.
That's some good content for sure.
I was gonna say the other fun time I remember was coming up to Kelowna for Super Bowl weekend. Not this Super Bowl, the last Super Bowl with the Chiefs and the 49ers. I think I forgot to bring a shirt. I think I forgot to pack a shirt that weekend. And I had one shirt. I had my App State shirt, which is the whole shirt. Which with the photo, I think I still have it on my Instagram with Kevin. Yeah.
Yes, you do. Yeah. Yeah.
Which is cool.
Life's too short to bet the under. I'm surprised it wasn't a grad quote, honestly.
No, that was Belichick's no days off, but
there you go. Yeah.
It all works out in the end.
Yeah, you had a few good quotes. You also had Every Day's Game Day. That was
Every Day's Game Day. I did have some good quotes. I'm trying to remember all of them now.
No Days Off. That was
no days off. Booger Sugar. I think I said that once in French class, and everybody just started laughing. And then what's her name? Madame Cormac was just like had her life flash in front of her.
Was that grade 11 or was it grade 12?
That was grade 11. I think we were all in the same French class. And,
dude, that was a riot, that class. Same with Planning 10, bro. Planning 10 was hype. French 11, Cormac. I never did well in French, and Cormac and I never got on the same page. But hey, fair enough.
I kind of regret that now because now I wish I took the French seriously. But
Planning 10 was actually kind of sick though. We played. That was the first time I played Cards Against Humanity. We played on the computers. Remember that? It was like 8 of us in the class.
Yeah, because we did fuck all in that class. And actually, no, the kid who didn't do fuck all in that class was Cade Wilgosh, who played Slithero for 6 months. Fuck all.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
And look at where he is now. I don't know what he's doing. I hope he's doing well. Caden was on our baseball team one year, too.
Was he actually?
Yeah, he was. Remember that team where we didn't win a single fucking game? Do you remember? There was a game we were up by 7 runs, and we blew it in the last inning. In North Van or somewhere. And
it was up by Capilano. I forget the name of the field. Forest Hills or something.
Yeah, because we actually like built up a good. We were going. That was after? Yeah, that was like 5 years ago, 6 years ago now.
Yeah.
Was that a majors team? I can't remember what the leagues were.
Juniors.
Okay, junior team. That's what the name of it was. I remember that team for a couple different reasons. One, I feel like I hit a double and I scored a run on a double to start the year, and then it was downhill from there.
Yeah.
Caden Wilgosh was on that team. That was also the year. Do you remember? We were playing on Marine Drive at one time. And George, remember, like Big George?
Yeah, George Lewis. Yeah, he's not big anymore. He's
slim.
George looks so good, man. He's a
dude's cut.
Yeah, he is. He looks like me now. He's actually really good. Yeah. He
got hit by a pitch. Took a second. Yeah. He's walking over to first base, and then he screamed, "Fuck!" so loud that everybody could hear it.
That would be funny. Yeah.
And John Jury's mother he also had the same reaction that Madame Cormac did when I did Booger Sugar. What the fuck just happened? And that was one of the peaks of that season.
Yeah, I don't think we won a single game.
I think we tied one, and that was
tied one. Yeah.
Crazy. Trying to think of the other. Do you remember the one game where I got beaned a couple times?
Was it by the same guy?
I think so. I think it was by the same guy. We had one intense game with one of the Vancouver teams. I can't remember who it was. And
it might have been Lynn Valley. Lynn Valley was always a bitch to play against.
Probably Lynn Valley. I can't remember. Anyway, it might actually. Now that you mention it, it's probably Lynn Valley. And I think I got beaned a couple of times.
Yeah.
And John Drury, who, if you don't know John Drury, I don't know. I guess he's still at UVic now. I don't know what's going on.
I haven't. That's one of the people we talked earlier about. People we've seen or haven't seen him.
I think I talked to him once at UVic, maybe like 2-3 years ago, but I haven't spoken to him.
Yeah.
He was technically on the team, but didn't play at all because he fucked up his ankle.
He had ankle issues like his whole life. Yeah. Whole
so he was on the team. His mother was actually a really big help for the team, but he actually didn't play because of ankle injuries. And I think either he said to me or I asked him. But anyways, he did say, like, if you start a brawl or if you get attacked, I will come out and support you. I will come out and defend you. And keep in mind, he hadn't done fuck all season, like just pretty much sat on the bench and would walk around every once in a while during the game. But
that's funny. I don't remember that.
That was
that was
good.
Good times, man. I miss playing ball, dude.
Do you remember? Was there any other memories from that team, or any other stories from that baseball team that I'm missing out on?
Not from that year. The year after, we went to like provincials and.
Neil would be good to talk about with.
Yeah, that's Neil and I can bond over. That's how you got your backpack that you love. That was. You don't like that anymore?
No, what? That's not how I got it. Do you know the story of how I got that backpack?
I don't know actually.
So, in case you don't know, I don't know if it's here. It might be outside. Anyways. You guys got a white West Van All-Stars?
West Van All-Stars, yeah.
Backpack, Easton backpack. Really nice backpack. Like, it's a quality backpack.
Top end
backpack.
It's still good, yeah. Anyways.
My brother got that because he was on the same All-Star team that you guys were on. Yeah. And when I feel like that, was that grade 12 for you?
No, grade 9.
Grade 9? Oh, okay. Well, anyways, he had that backpack. He was still using that backpack. He took that backpack when I was living in Victoria in the summer of 18. He had his backpack, his white Easton backpack, and he used it to come over to Victoria, and he saw what I had. And I can't remember what I had, but I guess I had a nice bag.
Sure.
And it's just like, dude, I'll trade you my Easton backpack for your bag.
Yeah. Easy trade, dude. That's
and
easy.
I'm just like, I mean, okay, I like my bag. And he's like, but this is a better bag. The Easton one's better. And I'm like, I just like my bag that I have, but it's like a regular black bag. But sure, man, if you want it, go and have it. So that's how I've had the Easton backpack. And pretty much I use it to carry my computer all around since.
There you go.
Took it to Japan with me.
There you go. It's been around the world. Enough said.
Any final thoughts, hot takes, things before we go here? I should let you go. It's 11:30 on a Friday night.
We could go on for hours. No, I'm not doing anything. I'm just gonna go to bed here. I gotta get up early tomorrow, do some school, and then we're playing golf tomorrow. I'll get some content for that. Don't worry.
Hashtag content. How's your school going, by the way?
It's good. Finals are coming up, and it's gonna be a pretty heavy month of April, but once we're done, we'll have an online class this summer. But once that's easy, once I get through this, then I'm like honestly kind of home free. Like I've got my courses mapped out for next year. I graduate next year from university, which is pretty big. So I'm
hoping to finish up my 2-year thing at BCIT next semester. But
that'd be sick.
Are you in class, by the way? Like you're in person next semester, or not next semester, in the fall?
That's the plan. Yeah. Are you?
I haven't heard. People have been asking me, and I haven't heard anything about that for anybody.
They might not make a decision for a while. They're unsure.
They need to say by June, though.
Oh, at least, yeah.
Yeah.
They've said in-person activities, which who knows what that really means. They haven't specified.
Keg stands at Nicola. Keg stands at Nicola. Is that what we're got planned for next year?
No, we're not. We're not going to be on residence next year. We can do it like.
What's the big hill that's nearby?
That's Academy Hill.
Academy Hill. That we're gonna do keg stands on Academy Hill.
I mean, if you're buying, sure, fuck, I'm down. There you go. Now, all right. So, I guess question for the viewers: UBCO takeover number 3? ?
I feel like we can do that for next Super Bowl.
Done. There you go.
I feel like next Super Bowl we'll do that when the Seahawks are playing whoever. And then. I
love your confidence.
I have to. I have nothing else at this. I mean, we've had Russell Wilson trade rumors, so why not be confident at the other end?
He's staying in Seattle. Come on. He's staying at this point. He's staying in Seattle. It's just like the whole Stamkos thing. Like there was like so much talk about it, and he just stayed in Tampa.
Yeah, but you do understand that football players have a lot more leverage than hockey players do.
That's also true. Yeah.
So pretty much, I think for takeovers, I think our next takeover, well, my personal next takeover might be Victoria this summer if I can get over there and if I can get vaccinated and things are good.
Maybe. I might be with you there. We'll see what happens.
I don't know. You seem like a bit of an island guy too, but you also seem like a boathouse on the lake type dude.
I can be anywhere. I'm pretty adaptable.
Actually, Armin's more boathouse on the lake type dude. I shouldn't.
No, we made it clear Armin's a boat guy. I would never live in a boathouse, but I would live on a lake in a house. There's a difference. There's a difference, by the way.
So I would say probably Vic this summer we're looking at, and then Edmonton in the winter, and then I'm gonna probably freeze like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. When I go to Edmonton, that's probably what I'm gonna look like. And then probably Kelowna for Super Bowl.
That sounds like a good plan. Pretty preliminary, but that's a good plan.
That's yeah, no, I mean nothing should be scheduled right now for anything.
No, God no.
Any other hot takes, thoughts? Just wrap it up, wrap the pod. This has been a good shithousery. I finished 2 Heinekens. Shout out North Yard Cider, by the way. Maybe they'll sponsor.
Go check them out. It's expensive, but if you're buying a treat,
you're buying quality with North Yard Cider. Yeah. I can vouch for that. You are buying quality cider when you go to North Yard Cider.
Yeah, it's good.
Don't buy what's the fucking, is it the Okanagan cider or that cheap with the black label one? Don't buy that one. That one's no bueno. You buy the North Yard cider.
I used to be a fan. I can't drink anymore. They just taste like garbage to me. Yeah.
There's another Okanagan a cider from the Okanagan that's really good. But if you want to buy local Squamish,
but pandemic, buy local. If you're in Kelowna, buy Kelowna. If you're in Squamish, buy Squamish. If you're
buy local.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
But no, actually, like if you want really good cider, go to North Yard Cider. That's the podcast. Of course, you can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes. Watch this full video on YouTube. I'm going to clip a bunch of stuff tomorrow on Saturday. That'll all come out on the YouTube channel, the Speak Your Piece YouTube channel. Hoodies are coming out this month, by the way. Hoodies will be out this month.
Cool. Love to hear it.
Website, by the way, website. Go check out Fuji and his new article on I can't remember what her name is right now. From Yukon.
Oh, the Canadian girl, right?
Yes, Paige. I want to say her name is Bukers, but I don't want to be that asshole who doesn't know right off the top of my head. I feel bad. Go check out Fuji stuff. Paige Bukers.
Paige Bukers, yeah.
Go check out Fuji's article on him on speakyourpiece.ca. Really cool stuff. What were you gonna say? Were you gonna say something before I interrupted you?
Yeah, I'm taking a month off, so you guys won't see me for a couple weeks. I'm busy.
You'll do some content tomorrow, golf wise.
Yeah, I'll get other content. I'm still doing Saturday selections. Every Saturday for.
I'll check the Silvertips. I'll check the Silvertips schedule. But pretty much Scott's doing it for the most part with the Silvertips playing mostly on Saturdays. Oh, by the way, they got my cutout at the Silvertips game, and it was actually on the broadcast tonight. It wasn't in the spot where I wanted it to be, but that's okay.
Yeah. Hey man, that happens. That's okay. At least it was on the broadcast. Gotta send a picture to the viewers. The viewers will love that.
Did I send you the photo of me?
I've seen it. Yeah.
So I'm at Silvertips games this year, which is cool.
Good team this year. Olin Zellweger, who's U18.
I'm actually surprised. I remember going through the rosters at the beginning of the season. Everett's got the best defense by a mile. I'm surprised at how many. I don't know if you looked at the WHL rosters, but the defense is actually quite underwhelming for
in the U.S. division or
in the U.S. division. In the U.S. division, I mean, I haven't checked the other teams. I just checked the U.S. division because that's who's Everett playing. The U.S. division is actually quite underwhelming defensively, but Everett's really good.
Hey, Everett's always good defensively, though. Look at their coach.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Like, yeah, they're always great defensively. Wolfie's their goalie again, who probably shouldn't be playing in Everett. He should probably be in the AHL, in my opinion.
Probably, yeah.
But he's gonna hopefully rip it apart in the U.S. division. Hopefully Everett's in first place because I think
they are in first place right now. We're not gonna do any play. They're not doing any playoffs this year, unfortunately. But
but at least they get play time. At least like draft prospects can get like exposure.
it's
right?
better than nothing, right? Like at least you get 24 games. Everett's still in first place in the U.S. over Portland.
Cool. Are they going to award like division winners? Like if it's, you know?
I would hope so, but I doubt it. I don't see. I mean, that was kind of the other thing that kind of pissed me off last year was Portland was technically the Scotty Monroe Memorial. Like they won the whatever President's Trophy equivalent to WHL is for having the most points.
Yeah.
But the season ended early, and Everett still had games against weaker competition, and they had more games and whatever.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of just an Everett bias, but I was like, I don't know if you want to give them.
Yeah. Well, did they prorate it? Like, did they do a points percentage, or do you know? No.
Just whatever the points were at the time. And it's kind of like, okay, I mean, I get it, but
again, it's 1 year, whatever, not a big deal. Everett's gonna come back stronger this year. And I think Portland lost Seth Jarvis, didn't they?
No, Jarvis is still with them.
Oh, he's still with them. Okay.
He struggled a little bit in the first time that he played against Everett. He was getting stoned by.
I'm honestly surprised he didn't make the junior team. I was expecting that he would, but he didn't.
I actually kind of figured that he would be not with the Hurricanes, but at least with the Charlotte Checkers, who's the AHL. Like I thought he kind of would be with them, but I mean it's kind of like a Wolfie thing of just give him another year in junior. You don't burn a year. You don't burn a year on his contract.
He's also not a big guy. He's not the most dominant. He's not like because again, you saw Kirby Dach 6'4". He like burst on the NHL, but Jarvis is like what 5'11", like 180.
A little Connor Zary in his game, maybe like Cole Perfetti type too, a little bit.
But he needs more time to develop and kind of put some mass on. Right, that's his big thing. Again, very good player, and he's a great play driver.
And I feel like he'll be a really good fit in like if he develops like we think he will, he should be a really good fit in the Rod Brind'Amour Hurricane style team.
Oh, for sure. Oh, he's that fit. Bit of speed, bit of finesse. Yeah,
hard worker.
Yeah, he'll be a good player.
So yeah, and then the Silvertip season is done May 8th. So pretty much after May 8th too, it's like even more full go. Because we have something, I don't want to spoil it yet, but we got a big thing planned for June that we've been working on too. Scott knows about this, but I don't want to spoil it yet.
Good.
We'll announce it probably closer to the end of the hockey season.
Yep.
And then obviously the SYP events.
There's lots coming.
Lots coming. Yeah. Again, check us out Spotify, iTunes, or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your music. Essentially, you can listen to this podcast. You can check out the YouTube channel. Please subscribe to us on the YouTube channel. That's probably where you're watching this video. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. We're 25 followers short of 500. We can get to 500 here pretty easily.
Yeah, I think we're pretty close.
You need to plug us in one of your Zoom classes again. I don't have any more Zoom classes to plug my stuff in. Maybe we need to get Jevin on again, and Jevin can plug our stuff for us.
Yeah, maybe. We'll make it work. Yeah.
I'm not too worried, but we'll figure it out.
We will.
By the way, before we go, March Madness pick. Again, we're recording this Friday night. You got a national champion that might be busted by Monday.
Well, thanks UCLA for ruining everyone's bracket, including mine.
You had Michigan too, I'm guessing?
Well, of course I did. Yeah, I had Michigan winning. I had Michigan playing Illinois. Illinois was long gone. I'm like, okay, fine. I just had them in.
Yeah, no, I had Gonzaga playing Illinois, and once Illinois lost to who did they lose to?
It was like a bottom seed. It wasn't any.
No, it was
Loyola Chicago.
Yes, that's who they. And
they want a good run.
Yeah, and Illinois lost to them, and I'm like, okay, I can accept that. The UCLA Final Four run.
Oh, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a weird feeling that UCLA might win it all.
I got Gonzaga.
Yeah, you pick Gonzaga anyways. So
yeah, I'm from Washington State. I kind of have to root for Gonzaga. I guess I'm not Catholic. I don't have any religious implications here.
Yeah. Gonzaga's only like 3 hours from here. It's really not that far.
You're gonna go to Spokane. You're gonna take a trip down to the Spokane River, Spokane Valley, hang out at the Red Lion Hotel.
I don't think so, but thanks.
You know, I've been to Spokane a couple times.
And is it okay?
I went when I was young. When I was still living in the States. I'm not rushing back particularly to go. Met the whole Vancouver Giants team in Spokane.
That's pretty cool.
Like actually, like got to shake hands with every Giants player.
That's sick. Like who's on the team at the time?
Fuck! Now you're gonna make me search this up.
Because what year was it?
2008.
Oh, it would have been like Evander Kane and like probably
Craig Cunningham.
Cody Franzen was there too.
Give me a second here. I don't know if have I told you this story?
I don't think you have. One last quick story.
Story where I basically, so I was in Spokane. We were on spring break, and we watched. I'm gonna say it was 2008, 2009. I'm gonna say because that's when the Giants were playing the Spokane Chiefs. Unless it was 2008. Just give me 1 second. I just want to confirm my sources here. Where I was in the Red Lion Hotel with the rest of my family, and might have been 2008, 2009. I was in the Red Lion Hotel with my family. We were on spring break because we were doing a dub road trip. So 2008, 2009, I'll have to ask my parents to confirm. On this Vancouver Giants team, you had Evander Kane, Jonathan Blum, by the way, Craig Cunningham, Brendan Gallagher.
Oh, nice.
Lance Boma, Tyson Sexsmith.
Okay.
All those were on the 2008, 2009 Giants. And I'll just check to see if there's anybody else. But pretty much, yeah,
Cool.
Also possibly on 2007, 2008, Craig Cunningham, Neil Manning, nobody else really too memorable. Evander Kane, James Wright, Lance Boma. So pretty much, so the story with that was I can't remember if it was the same trip, but we went to Spokane for spring break, or I think it was the same trip we went to Spokane. We were checking out dub games, I guess we were. I can't remember what the other purpose, maybe the Silvertips were there too. But we were checking out dub games, and basically there was a guy in the Red Lion Hotel who was wearing a Vancouver Giants kind of like the CCM jackets, if you know what. Scott will know what I'm talking about.
Tracksuit, yeah.
Tracksuits.
Tracksuit, yeah.
And I went up and asked, like, do you work for the Giants? He's like, yeah, I'm their bus driver.
No way.
Yeah, I'm like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. And I asked, are the Giants here? And they're like, oh yeah, the Giants are here. Like, do you want to meet them?
No way.
So pretty much if I remember correctly, there was a meeting room upstairs somewhere in the hotel. And basically the bus driver took my brother and I up to this meeting room, and I guess they were having a team meeting or something. And basically we got to fist pump all the guys like as they were walking in.
That's so sick.
Got to introduce ourselves. They gave us a free Giants t-shirt, which was really cool.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then pretty much we had to leave before the start of their meeting. And basically they said, go Giants, and they couldn't give us any free tickets because it was in Spokane, and obviously the Chiefs are in charge of tickets or whatever. But that was my time meeting the Vancouver Giants. So in case you're wondering cool. why I'm such a big Dub fan, that was my Vancouver Giants experience.
Wow, there you go. And you've been a fan. Well, you've been a fan of the Tips for your whole life.
Been a fan of the Tips my whole time, and basically, yeah. I need to go back to Spokane Arena. It was a nice arena if I remember. It's not the Everett Arena, but Spokane didn't have a bad arena.
Angel of the Winds is top notch.
AOTW Arena. Scott, any final words before we head out here? If you got anything else to say? I know we've been saying that for the last 20 minutes, but
no, we're good. Let's wrap it up.
All right, cool. Thank you very much for listening. You know where to find our stuff. Please tell your friends. Thank you very much for listening. This has been a great pod, and we will do this again.
Maybe our next break, whenever our next break is, which who knows when that's going to be, but.
Well, the other thing is I'm trying to think when I'm going to be back for pods. Probably not the 6th, but the 13th. I think is when I'm going to start doing regular pods again. Without you, Scott. I'm sorry, but anyways, thank you again for listening. We'll be back soon. Peace out.
Done.